One of a country's greatest assets is its young population. Some people even think that poor countries with substantial youth populations could enjoy rapid developments if they would just invest in young people's health, education, and security. After all, those kids today are definitely tomorrow's pioneers, thinkers, and doers. Similarly, the youth of India are not an exception. They are not constrained by preconceived notions and can adapt to the changing needs of themselves and the world around them. They have an optimistic, can-do attitude that motivates people of all ages. It's not surprising that they're able to prosper and maintain success despite the challenges they've faced. And well, that's what we're going to take a look at in today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to Econify. Today we're going to take a look at India, its youth, and why they're performing so well in the global job market and around the world in general. There's a lot of young Indians in tech startups as CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, and a lot more. But why is that? Well, stick around to the end of the video to find out and let us know what you think about it in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit subscribe and like to keep the channel going. Alright, without further ado, let's see what we got. Young people in general have a reputation for being resourceful, optimistic, and flexible, all qualities that are highly prized in today's ever-changing and dynamic job environment. This is due to the fact that the youth have a wealth of energy and enthusiasm to contribute, as well as a robust drive to learn and grow. And that's why in today's highly competitive labor market, a lot of employers value young workers' adaptability and willingness to try new things. I mean, when rent costs $1,500, you have very few options but to work, but I digress. As young people are more optimistic and open to new experiences and ideas, young Indians in this situation are pretty much more ambitious and show more freedom in making career decisions than is typical. They are more aware of the importance of always updating one's skill set to remain competitive, and they take huge steps to do so by enrolling in new programs, going to new conferences, and even completing their degrees. But much like everybody else, they still face obstacles in achieving their goals and adapting to the ever-changing nature of the workplace for a variety of reasons. And of course, this is to be expected, given their lack of experience for some, and the fact that a lot of them have not yet encountered the challenges and failures that more seasoned individuals have. Not to mention that young people have long had greater occupational independence than their elders, but the growing popularity of the gig economy and the ease with which people may find remote employment opportunities have further increased this tendency. With over 54% of its total population under the age of 25 and over 62% in the working age group between 15 and 59, India is one of the youngest nations in the world today. Their perspectives are more open and creative, and they can contribute to national developments both at home and abroad. That's why they should be afforded sufficient platforms from which to advocate for the betterment of the country. Thanks in large part to its large pool of young educated workers, India has become a desirable location for businesses seeking to hire skilled labor. Now, why is that? Well, it's pretty obvious. The country has a robust educational system that churns out a large number of graduates with a wide variety of skills and expertise, including many in high-demand fields like technology and engineering. The cost of labor in India is generally also lower than in other countries, which can be quite appealing to businesses that are trying to cut costs in this area. But this has also contributed to dodgy business practices from these companies, but that's a story for another time. In total, you could say that young Indians are highly sought after in the international labor market because of their large, skilled workforce and low labor costs. India is already recognized as a significant center for IT experts in fields like software and app development, data analysis and science, and other technical fields as well. A lot of businesses in any industry can benefit from tapping into India's abundant talent pool. Korn Ferry predicts that by 2030, a scarcity of 85 million skilled workers will affect every region of the world, and according to these findings, the United States stands to lose almost $162 billion in GDP and also 6 million jobs if these projections prove to be accurate. In this competitive job market, American companies have a fantastic opportunity to outsource to India and engage highly skilled workers to complete remote projects. And now we're in 2023, so that's only 7 more years. And we'll start from this. Almost all white-collar workers in India have at least a bachelor's degree, if not higher, reflecting the tremendous priority a lot of Indian youths place on higher education. Consequently, any company that employs them will gain a potentially significant advantage. The country's attractiveness as a location for tech and BPO workers has broadened as well. You got access to an abundance of talent that has diverse backgrounds in areas like business, management, finance, marketing, operations, and many more. Like the country itself, the range of skill sets available for contracting in India is pretty vast, and the ability to hire remote young Indians is greatly facilitated by this. Many teenagers in India also have a great work ethic. Not to mention that there's a rich tradition of entrepreneurship in India, and today's young Indians have a global reputation for their drive and perseverance, and this outlook is highly prized by businesses, and it can give young Indians a leg up in the job market. Moving on. To be competitive in the international job market, you need a solid grasp of the English language, which is the language of business and trade all around the world for one reason or another. Many Indian youth are bilingual in English and Hindi because of the country's extensive program of early immersion in English. And because of this, they are able to effortlessly interact with customers and co-workers from all around the world. At least 140 million Indians are estimated to be able to communicate in English, with at least 70 million being native-level speakers and readers. Meanwhile, some students in urban areas of India typically take classes entirely taught in English. The Indian government places a premium on education, and it has made significant investments in higher education. This has led to Indian students routinely placing in the top tier of test takers everywhere, from standardizing reading tests to global rankings of business and acumen. There is a pretty good reason why American and Hollywood television shows have developed a strategy to market their newest products in India. Sometimes, in fact, important releases occur in India before they do in the United States. That's because Indians consume American media at an alarming rate. Indians of a certain age not only have a deep fondness for American sitcoms like Friends and The Big Bang Theory, but they also almost grew up watching them. I mean, India was even the very first stop on the Avengers Endgame promotional tour. In fact, it was intended to be this way. Over the past decade, India's startup scene has expanded. Many Indians who entered the labor force within the previous decade have amassed extensive experience working for these companies in a wide range of capacities. Because of this, they are now competent and flexible enough to meet the needs of a developing company. The modern Indian labor force possesses a wide variety of transferable skills. They pick up new information quickly, have a deep comprehension of their roles, and consistently provide excellent results. Many of these new businesses focus on selling to American consumers, and now they interact with Americans on a regular basis thanks to this. As a result of their efforts, they've got a deep awareness of the American corporate landscape across several industries. Currently, India's economy is thriving and expanding rapidly. The Indian economy, which is expected to have climbed around 6.1 and 6.3% in the July-September quarter, has shown extraordinary resilience to the succession of shocks it's experienced since early 2020, maintaining macro stability while retaining the momentum of recovery and growth. So as inflation cools, the macroeconomic picture for the upcoming fiscal year seems promising, with GDP expected to expand by a healthy percentage. You could say that an extreme broad spectrum of languages, cultural practices, and religious beliefs coexist in contemporary India. Because of this variety, though, young Indians have a special talent for adjusting to new situations and collaborating with individuals from all walks of life, and as a result, they are highly valuable workers who can thrive in a wide range of settings. It's hardly surprising that their economy has grown so rapidly that it's surpassed the UK's. It's no secret that since the outbreak, working remote for workers, both young and old Indians, has become increasingly widespread in the country. Due to this, it is now more simpler and more accessible for American companies to hire skilled Indian workers who are located in remote locations. Whether you define elite talent as remote or traditional, India is now home to both. In spite of the current wave of mass layoffs, the demand for its qualified workers will continue to rise in the United States. But as for now, that is all from us today. Let us know what you think about this situation, and I look forward to reading all your comments. In the meantime, make sure you've liked, subscribed, and hit that bell icon for future videos, and I will see you in the next one.